I'll lead you in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to race number 9 of season number 6 in the Back Charities Tyler Daniels Racing Veterans and First Responders League. I'm joined tonight in the booth by Jay Downham. Jay, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. We are here in Kansas, the heart of America, in the wheat fields, putting on our own tornado out here tonight. And I'll tell you what, these boys are going to put on a huge show. It should be like nothing like we saw last week, where Ryan's going to lap the field and take it away. Tonight, we're actually going to have side-by-side action. I've seen a lot of action out on track. The boys are ready, winding it up around here. And back to you, Tommy. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling good just watching some of these cars on track. Everybody looks good. They don't have to worry about any right-handers tonight. I expect we're going to see a few more drivers out there. And I see a new name out there, Todd Danbury. I think he's a newcomer to TDR this week.
Yes, he is. He's a newcomer. He came on this week, and he's actually one of those real world drivers from back in the day. So it's gonna be interesting to see him come out here, get around these vets and first responders, and we'll see how that plays out. And another name that we really been on the top there is Christopher Rawlings, is topping out that leaderboard. So we've seen him be quick at a few tracks, and I think tonight, watch out for him to be a spoiler in between that Devin and Ethan train going to the front.
Yeah, and I love that throwback TRD Castrol paint scheme, paying homage to some of the Toyota Celicas from the rally racing days of the early 90s, the infamous 1996 Supra. Nice of him to put together that TRD Castrol paint scheme for tonight on that Camry.
Absolutely, it's looking really good in that 01 Castrol car rolling around, and he is putting down some laps. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping we have another race like we did at Pocono, where we get some top runners gunning it out.
Yeah,
I
10 minutes left in practice. He actually has the fastest lap right now with a 31:08. Track's only going to get cooler as the evening goes on. Devin Zimmerman looking good in second. Let's see, we got Ethan Thompson. Whoop, he was getting on the track. Gonna try that again.
Yeah, sometimes you speed a little bit coming out of that pit road there, just trying to get a little bit too much, doing a little bit of adjustments. You're really not paying too much attention, so you get it out there and just gives you that black flag to you just to stop and restart than it is to go back around and do all that. So especially during practice, like I said, 10 minutes left, so there's a long time for that leaderboard to flip-flop around. Just keep an eye on who's out there, who's not. But, man, YouTube has been blowing up since before we took the air. We got Terry Lloyd, Mama Boyd, and Aunt Terry here cheering on Mission 22 driver. Brian Boyd, so Brian Boyd fan club out there. Paul Vosberg must be out there fighting fires. Good to see you out there, Captain Paul. Bet you can't be with us tonight, but I'm glad you're in here supporting these guys and watching them out there. So he says, let's go, Boyd. Another Boyd fan, Legacy Aftermath. Ethan fan club about to roll through. Watch out, Boyd. So Legacy Aftermath. So Ethan fan club is back out there cheering them on. So it may be going to be another blow up out here in the YouTube land in between Ethan's fan club and Boyd's fan club. And I'll tell you what, Boyd has been on a roll lately, and he's sitting right now third and above Ethan, but it's only practice. So can't really read too much into it right now, but Boyd is on a roll. And like I predicted last week, he puts on practices all week long, comes out there, really supportive of everybody out there, not only for the vets first responder, but everybody in TDR to come out and run some laps with these guys. That way they get better, and helping everybody get better. And it's showing off on the track because each week he is consistently in the top 5. So if things go right tonight, Boyd may be a threat to win this thing. Have to watch that out and see. But Kelly Taylor's out there, Team Boyd, Tina Miller, Devin's mom. So we got Devin. So Zimmerman's fan club is out there. Tina's out there supporting her son. And
As we watch the McConey comb get a couple laps in here, currently sitting P2 between Christopher Rawlings and Brian Boyd. Devin's looking like he's going to be one of the cars to beat tonight.
yeah, Devin's strong just about everywhere we go. Last week was kind of like Ryan Shelton put a hurting on the entire field, and I think even if he was out there against some of the top guys, he would have put a hurting on them as well because he was just unbelievable last week. And Sonoma, I can tell you, a lot of people up there hung over just watching the end of that race. So, yeah, Timothy Brown's out there. Go Boyd, and of course, their sister Sookie, Sharon O'Neill. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Sharon. Glad you could join us out there tonight. Glad to see you come out and support these guys as usual. I haven't really picked a driver tonight, so she's usually on top with a Shelton fan. I know she's been a Shelton fan, and when he's not here, sometimes she goes for Thompson. So we shall see where she stands on top of the leaderboard, and maybe she could pick it out. So Tay out there, Team Ethan. So it's going to be a heated chat tonight. It's going to have to heat it up on YouTube, heated up out there on the track, and everybody's out here having fun. That's right. So Andy Biznet's chiming in out there. So we got a lot going on in YouTube, a lot going on out there on the track right now. 6:34 left. I think maybe we should get a few of our sponsors out of the way, and then we can just focus back on this race. What do you think, Tommy?
Absolutely.
So let's see, where are we at here?
Yep, I was gonna say I don't have all the fancy buttons that the regular broadcasters have. I'm third string, as everyone out there knows. But if you'll look to the bottom right of your screen, you will see a logo for someone who needs no introduction to the TDR community. McConey Setup Shop. They do setups, they do paints, they do apparel, and just recently they announced they're going to start getting into broadcasting, which has inspired us to step up our game a little bit, and we wish them the best on that venture. McConeySetupShop.com. Their setups, your victories. Let's see here. I do not have a logo for B&B Wraps, but we always want to thank them for providing all the season trophies year in, year out. So this is the sixth season. They will be providing the sixth trophy, and I'm sure many more to come. They're actually a professional real-life wrap company, so not only do they do iRacing paint schemes, they're also able to wrap actual objects. They specialize in race cars, but they can do anything from coffee cups to semi-trucks. B&B Wraps can get it done for you. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps. And, of course, backcharities.com, a little organization that me and Andy started to help make the dollars make sense. Coming up into the end of the year, we're about to start our teddy bear drive, our Cards for the Troops fundraisers, and a couple other things along the way. Backcharities.com, give back with back. Whew. I think I did all that in one breath.
Yeah, you did. You're getting good at this stuff. We also want to shout out to simracingapps.com for providing all of the stuff that you see around the leaderboard and helping us with our broadcasting so we can bring this action to you. So it's a free app. Go out there, all you racers, and grab the simracingapps.com. You can also run these during the race as well. And we cannot forget Tyler Daniels Racing League. So we race 7 nights a week. Mondays are dedicated to the vets and first responders. Sundays we have Gas and Go, which is in the middle of their championship. Monday nights, obviously, vets and first responders. Tuesday nights, our most popular league is the Trucks, hosted by Jim Downham, my brother. On Wednesday nights, Dustin Valduzin hosts the Xfinity Series. On Thursday nights, we're running the Radical 8s that just started. So come on out, grab the SR8s, and it's going to be all ovals this season. And last race came down to a virtual tie, so that was a fun series to go out to. On Friday nights, we are now in the Evolve series with the Friday Night Lights. We're going into just past halfway part of the season. Right now, we're in late model series in the Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Saturday mornings is the only times we do not race nights unless there's a special event, but Saturday mornings we have Legends Series where Tyler Daniels has been on a roll lately.
Yeah,
so if you're interested in coming out and joining any of our leagues, please get a hold of us somehow, some way. You got to sign up for a league. If you join our Facebook page, you'll be able to get all that information there. We'll be able to get it into you, and you can sign up for every single league and come out and join us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah,
And with
whole week worth of fun.
yep, 7 days a week. So there's never a day that you can't say that there's nothing going on because every night at 8 o'clock, except for Saturday mornings at 9:30, we have the Legends League. Other than that, 8 o'clock every night, we do have something going on.
Yeah, but even outside of
Um,
the leagues, guys are always throwing up little events. Brian Boyd on screen now does those little practice sessions. Anyone's welcome to those practice sessions, even though they're for the Vets League. I mean, there's always something to do, even if they're not racing. You can just get together with the guys and talk about racing. Great community to be a part of.
yeah, absolutely. And Brian has come out in a few of our sessions that we've had, and he's invited everybody. Come on out. It's not just for vets and first responders. Come on out, everybody. We'd love to see more people on track because obviously, the more people that these guys race around during practice actually helps them in the race. So if you're out there just running laps, you think you're doing good, and then you put somebody else out there who blows you away, then you got to figure out how to adjust your car. So you may feel good in practice until you get around other drivers, and then you actually figure out where you are. So the more that's out there, the better for these practices for sure, and that helps these guys get better. So even if you want to be a test driver for the vets and first responders, come out here and try it. Be our guest.
Yeah,
Brian Boyd always sets them up.
absolutely. And just now exiting pit lane, I believe this is another new name out there. Jay Dalton. Did we see him last week?
I do not see Jay Dalton last week. That is a name that is new out here. I'm not sure anything about. That's John Dalton. So
Looking good in the Oreo Toyota Care number 13 there. A little bit of contact with the wall. Might be a little nervous out there with all these superstars.
yeah, and it's always that first race. Yeah, everybody's got to get their first race in, see how these guys race. Because like as in anything, when you start out something new, you're always nervous. You don't want to wreck anything. You don't want to be in anybody's way, but at the same time, you want to do good yourself. So it's one thing that you got to put forward, and we like to see everybody out there. So John Dalton's on track now. Todd Danbury's out there. Christopher Rawlings. I mean, Christopher's been on a roll lately, as well. He's been doing really well. Comes out on Friday nights. Usually races with us on Friday nights. And basically anything he is in, he is fast as well. So any one of these drivers, Chuck Mcdonald, is great to see him back out here tonight. Chuck missed last week.
Great looking paint scheme on that car. The Canadian Air Force's Forces.ca with that metallic Canadian flag as a Canadian expat. I love it. That thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, and he can be. Chuck is one of those that he can save it. It depends on what strategy he's on. He'll either try and save and outrun you on gas, or he'll just work his way to the front. So one of those deals. But no, it's great to see Chuck back out here. He just came back from, I believe, Michigan. So he was at the Michigan race for that race out there and just got back in. So good to see Chuck back out here tonight.
Yeah, Bradley Hunt turning his first laps of the practice session here with just a handful of seconds to go. Might have got a little distracted over there at the hot dog cart.
I don't blame them. They got some good hot dogs down here in Kansas City, Kansas. Maybe some barbecue. Kansas City barbecue going on for sure tonight. So, but look who's on top of that. Brian Boyd pulls out the fastest lap in practice there. So at a 31:03, just nipping out Ethan Thompson. Those guys were like virtually tied. Ryan Shelton moved his car back up there. So these guys are finding some speed. They're trying something a little bit different. So now we're going out on track. And is this an open qualifying?
Negative. I'm just that good at cameras.
Oh, okay. You're just that good at cameras where we go. Okay.
As they lit up on my board of available to people to look at, I was just clicking on them so we could see them all pull off pit road. Robert Cochran, here he comes.
There it's go. All right. So we got a whole bunch out there. Now you're doing good. You confused me. I thought we had an open practice there for a minute, or an open qualifier, but
no,
it's going to be 2 laps.
Bunch of fast guys hitting the track early, and we got a few guys hanging back, entering the track a little bit later than the others. And I wonder if there's a little bit of strategy there. Some of the fast guys, they want to jump out there and get that quick time in, kind of assert their dominance and make the other guys nervous, or are the other guys looking to see what lap times are put down and kind of giving themselves something to aim for?
Well, all right. So if you're up front, right, and you have one of the faster guys go out that you know you're racing with, go out and put down his laps, and you know that he's locked in for that speed. If you can beat him on that speed, then obviously you're going to go out and try and put down as close as you can. If you're on a strategy, you can also use that to your advantage as well. But don't forget, they do get a point for qualifying on the pole. So that point we know is very, very important at the end of the year. Points are so hard to get in this league. So easy to give away, so hard to get, especially with the caliber that's been up at the front for the past couple of seasons here. So to get around somebody, even 2 spots at the end is huge. And that's just because these guys are so close in times and different parts of the track that it makes it for a very interesting race. So go out there, nab the pole. Devin Zimmerman right now sitting on the pole with a 31-1. Ryan Shelton not that far behind. Andrew Bisnet third right now. Cochran, but we see Ryan Shelton's going to put down another laps. Can he grab that pole from
And
Devin?
Ryan
I'm going
Walter
for it.
coming in P2.
So that must have been first laps. Yeah, Ryan Walter comes in, and good to see Ryan Walter out there. The 2 Ryans, I know we always get them confused. So at least I do anyway. I'm calling, especially during the heat of battle.
Brian Boyd entering the track now.
Okay, so looked like Ryan Shelton put down his 2 laps and didn't quite get it done.
Not quite. Ethan Thompson just snatched the pole away from Devin Zimmerman by a whopping 10th and a half.
And there's Brian Boyd taking his lap.
Yeah, getting it done. Looking good, looking clean. Riding that high line too, I see. And this, I believe this is his second lap of qualifying. Down to the inside, and a time is laid down. Not quite enough to rob the top 3, but looks really good out there. Looks really good. Todd
Here comes
Danbury,
Todd. He's
newcomer
getting
this
ready.
week.
Yep, he's getting ready to take his.
I think we just saw the
Hey,
end of
put him
his.
on. Yeah. So he sits right now, but they're all within a second of each other. From top to bottom, there's less than there's 3/4 a second in between the top and the bottom. So that's a good field. Like I said, nobody's really going to run away with it tonight. Ethan Thompson looks like he's going to nab the point for the top spot at a 30.95. Devin Zimmerman, Brian Boyd, Ryan Walter, Ryan Shelton, Andrew Bisnet, Robert Cochran, John Dalton, the newcomer, in 8th. Christopher Rawlings in 9th. Brad Youngman in 10th. Bradley Hunt in 11th, and Todd Danbury in 12th. And it's very tight at the start here. So very close in times. And this track, you're going to have to drive it. This isn't one where you just ride around. This ain't like a Daytona or, one of those tracks where you can just be comfortable. This track is, you can get bit in a hurry here.
Yeah,
That can.
we saw in qualifying riding that outside line. The track has elements of Homestead where you want to be right up by that wall, but then when you come across the start finish line, you want to dive all the way to the inside. And it's tricky to negotiate. There's not a ton of banking here, and these next gen cars have proven time and time again to be unpredictable.
Yeah, and you never know, because we've raced a couple races where you're actually going and everything feels fine, and then all of a sudden it gets snappy loose out of like nowhere, like just there it is, and you weren't expecting it. So, um, not a whole bunch of times. So I think those who have the most amount of laps are going to probably have that advantage here because they're going to know what the car does on the longer run. Maybe earlier, the first 10, 15 laps these guys put down in practice, just trying to get speed. Everybody's on a different strategy. Some people are racing to shake it down for the race. Some people are shaking it down to try and get a good qualifying position. But overall,
Well,
can't really good.
as they go through their drivers meeting, we know they're going to have to stop for fuel. That's going to be a thing here. If we do see a lot of green flag racing and long runs, how much do you think tires will be a factor here? Are they going to be begging for them, or are they even going to matter?
Well, we got 100 laps tonight. Tires will be an issue. You're going to have to get tires at some point. Um, the only people that I really see maybe not trying to take tires at all would be Biznet and maybe Shelton. It just depends on, how he feels about it. But those are the only two that I would definitely say would probably try and go without tires the entire run. But like I said, it just comes down to who or what your tire wear looks like after that first, you know what I mean? After you run the practices, are you losing anything? Are you not losing anything? I haven't really been down on pit road today. I got in a little bit late, getting over here, but so I haven't had really a chance to talk to the guys, find out what's going on. But I would imagine that there would be some tires, at least 2 tires, if anything,
Yeah,
on the field tonight.
likewise, I didn't have any time to walk pit road before we got set up here tonight. When it comes to tires, can you get away with right sides here? You mentioned Biznett, who likes to gamble on tires and has proven that he can run on old tires just as fast as some of these other guys. Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, Brian Boyd, I think they could make a set last, but do you think there could be some strategy in the number of tires taken?
There can be. Uh, Absolutely. If you take right sides and, just depending on your wear, it's obviously going to give you better grip, but I noticed that in the next gen car, when you actually take the right side tires, your car tends to be a little bit loose. So if you can't drive the car loose for the first few laps until everything comes underneath of you, you could actually lose time rather than gain it.
And see,
4 tires seems to even everything out, so you know what you have from the beginning. If you take 4, then you know what you have going back out.
yeah, I just
As we
noticed
see,
Ryan Shelton really, really trying to get every lap out of the free track time he can.
yes, he is doing that for 2 reasons. One is shake down the car, make sure that everything is right. And this is, you're not really losing anything by staying out there. And he's really getting a feel for the run and how many tires he's going to need. So maybe he's just out there letting the guys know, hey, maybe we can go 2, maybe we can go 4. It's up to you. What's my fall off here? So
Well,
as we see him
there
tap
was
that
some
outside
fall
wall.
off right there.
So yeah, he's just trying to do whatever he can. It's kind of like the last bit of practice here, as we got 1:49 before they have to come
Right
on pit road.
around with it.
And we had another. I forgot all about Chuck McDonald qualified 7th in there. So
Oh, very
Chuck
good.
McDonald and Robert Cochran moved up 7th and 8th behind Biznett on the starting field. So we got 13 starting tonight.
Yeah, good job by all coming out here and qualifying. I mean, less than a second between the whole pack. It's going to be pretty tight here for the first few laps. They get some green flag runs, you might be able to spread out a little bit, but I'm willing to bet we're going to see at least 1, maybe 2 yellows during this race.
Yeah, especially if they get around each other, they get a little bit loose, or maybe even tight. I mean, you could possibly even get tight around here, and have to chase that car up, as we're seeing Ryan Shelton there, kind
Little
of
tight?
a little bit. Yeah, he's taking a little bit off that wall. So, but no. And out there in YouTube land, we've got Legacy Aftermath came in. Here comes another win for Ethan. Let's go, David Mayo. Jimmy Mullins, go Brian Boyd. Another Boyd fan out there, Jimmy Mullins, Puppet Master. Jimmy Mullins, thanks for coming out, dude. So there's the answer for Brian Boyd, who's Puppet Master on the chat. David May, go Brian Boyd. And Jim chimes in. Hello, everyone. Hi, Jim. How are you tonight? Glad to see you
Jimmy!
out there supporting their vets and first responders, and hopefully we can put on some sort of broadcast. Me and Tommy in the booth tonight, covering everything. Dustin, if you're out there listening, we miss you dearly. Hopefully everything is working out. I know you're very busy at the track, and can't wait to get you back up here in the booth and back out there in TDR. We miss
Absolutely.
having you out on track, and just somebody to talk to, and a lot of fun out there. And I'm sure the YouTube chat is also missing Dustin out there as well. So love you, buddy. Cut back, take what you need, and hope to see you in a few weeks here as we're getting ready to go green as we're starting to line up there. So on the pole officially is Ethan Thompson at a 30.95 in the Civil Air Patrol. Thompson Drone Works, McConey's set up, Shop Chevrolet on the outside of pole, and the McConey Comb,
Yep, you got it.
Toyota Camry, Devin Zimmerman. Starting third is everybody's almost a YouTube chat favorites out there, and the number Mission 22 Toyota Camry of Brian Boyd. And right outside of Brian Boyd, starting in the 4th position,
Teammates.
is Ryan Walter, the teammates also in Toyota Camry Mission 22 car of Ryan Walter. In 5th spot, starting with the Ford Mustang and the McConey setup shop Ford Mustang, that is Ryan Shelton. And to his outside in the 6th position, the green and pink and camouflage. Can't miss it. Tommy's favorite
What's
setup shop.
what's
Also another Marconi setup shop. Tyler Daniels Racing.
what's
Chevrolet.
what's the point of the lime green with the camouflage? Or what's the point of the camouflage with the lime green?
With Andrew Bisnet sitting in the 6th spot. Starting in the 7th
Oh,
position.
Chuck
We can get him
Chuck
up.
McDonald has not sat in his car yet. Let me see if
Okay, so we're waiting up here. Come on, Chuck. You need to call you out. There you go, Chuck.
yeah, Chuck McDonald missing from the field currently.
He is in the 04.
Yeah, that beautiful Forces.ca American military car, or Canadian military car. Beautiful looking car. I wish we could see it.
There he
There it
is. He's right
is.
there. It's all right. Ford Mustang. Chuck McDonald on his outside seem to run together there. Also in a Ford is the number 90 in the Navy Ford Mustang of Robert Cochran.
Yeah, looking good out there. John Dalton. Let me see. There he is.
Rolling off in the 9th position in that number 13 Toyota Camry Oreo car of John Dalton.
Yeah, wish him the best of luck tonight coming out here for the first time. It's going to be a little wild. Here's someone who held the pole early on during practice.
Absolutely, the number 10. I'm sorry, number 01 Castrol car. Toyota Camry of Christopher Rawlings.
Let's see if we can get the 7 up here.
And that U.S. Air Force Chevrolet of Brad Youngman in number 7 tonight. And on the outside of Brad Hunt in the Mission 22 Toyota Camry, starting 13th and final on the field. Newcomer in the number 6 Chevrolet of Todd Danbury.
Yeah, definitely got to get a sponsor on that hood. We got to get a sponsor on that hood.
Absolutely, we will get one out there. I'm not sure where these guys hail from, and they got to get out there. Paul, we're really missing you out there as these guys are getting ready to go down for the green flag. Pace car is in there. We're off and rolling here at Kansas, and Ethan Thompson goes down to the bottom and pushes Devin Zimmerman on that outside, but Ethan Thompson's going to take it down in turn 1 right on the back door. There is Brian Boyd. We also got Ryan Shelton, who jumped to the outside to get behind Devin Zimmerman as we're going around. First time in backstretch, everybody's just trying to shake it out. Brian Boyd is now going to fall up, and Ryan Shelton's going to take that outside line. Fight back down on the bottom, and he's got Ethan Thompson on the high side, Devin Zimmerman on the low side. Brian Shelton and Brian Boyd are back there fighting for third. Ethan Thompson takes it down low as well as Brian Boyd. Devin Zimmerman stays out on track. Ryan Shelton falls in line now we got Devin Zimmerman going down underneath, driving down under, taking it to Ethan Thompson. He's going to have that position. So we got to swap for the lead here at lap number 2. So there you go. They each got their point. Here comes Ryan Shelton, who's really not letting him get away. Puts that bumper inside of Ethan, forces him up the track. He's going to go down low, side by side, coming out of 4 back to the line. Devin Zimmerman, now Ryan Shelton, and Ethan Thompson as Ethan now is going to come out, get that draft. Ethan's pretty much staying the high. I didn't see him really dive low. Is he going to try it low here? No, he's going to remain on that high side as well as now Ryan Walter is up to 4th position. Got around Brian Boyd as those two are fighting it out. Now Ryan Walter is going to take it right back, get up on the back bumper, but oh, there you go. You got Brian Boyd is going to take a 3 wide dive down underneath his teammate, Ryan Walter. Gets a good run coming out of 4 is going to come up. He's going to come across the line in 3rd position, so he just got that by a nose over Ethan Thompson. Ethan is not really trying to get that high side to work in. Ryan Walter kind of got surprised there by Brian Boyd, kept him up a little bit as now they took it 3 wide, and there in their picture is Andrew Bisnet, who's crawling back into this. Brian, that's a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th here. So now Ryan Walter gets that bottom run. It seems to be that bottom run is early. That bottom lane seems to be coming in as we're coming down to the line to take lap number 4 of 100. Number 5 now, 95 laps to go. Up front, Ryan Shelton gets around 3 wide. There you go, 3 wide for the lead. Brian Boyd now to the front. So there you go, Boyd fans. He is up in front and leading these guys coming down lap number 5. Devin Zimmerman, Ryan Shelton are really fighting it out as they've been door handle. A lot of good racing up front so far. As Brian Boyd is now sitting on the top spot, leading them down. Going to get that official point. There it is. So, and pulls out to a big lead. That's the biggest lead that we've seen these leaders, as we've got the top 6 and 7 there just kind of hanging out near the front. And they are really battling for position 2, 3 wide coming out of there. Now we got Ethan Thompson falling back in line with Ryan Shelton on the top side. There's Robert Cochran. Robert Cochran has a good run going. As he's pulling up, he's going to take it to the inside of Ryan Shelton. Look at Robert Cochran going, that Navy machine.
Yeah.
He's going to come back up, and he's going to bring it in the 4th spot across the line. Ryan starts to fade a little bit. There's racing everywhere. Back to the line. Oh, man, that was so close, but
they're not going to give you a break,
that was actually 4th position went to Robert Cochran on that lap. Here we go. Ethan Thompson now battling out with Ryan Shelton. As we still got Devin Zimmerman and Ryan Walter up front battling for 2nd position. They were 2 wide going down into 3.
And Ryan Walter gets it, chasing down Brian Boyd.
Yeah, and there you go. So now we're all straightened out here and some good racing early 7 laps. I mean, just side by side. And look at that, Brian Boyd to the front. So what a drive by both the Mission 22 drivers as the teammates. So now Brian Boyd and Ryan Walter are leading this field. Devin Zimmerman back there, and he's just chasing these guys down. And just, I guess they're just going to catch their breath, because I'll tell you what, I need to catch my breath after that for a little bit.
That was some intense action. That's what we expect to see from these guys. They all went after it. They got hard. I wouldn't say the 77 and the 78 necessarily worked together, as we see Ryan Shelton to the outside of Cochran. But they both got their cars where they needed to be. They're running 1 and 2, and you can guarantee you right now, Ryan Walter is running defense for Brian Boyd.
Yeah, see, oh, there goes
Ryan Shelton
Robert
making
Cochran.
A power move on the outside.
Yeah, it looked like Cochran got a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2 there, which allowed Ryan to get on the outside. So at least he didn't go up and take it. But man, Cochran looked good early. So now we got Ethan. Oh my goodness.
Dicey.
Ryan Walter looks like he came out and hit the wall coming out of turn number 4 there. Hopefully that will not hurt him all that much, as we got Devin Zimmerman now trying to close back up as Ryan Walter goes high. Devin Zimmerman down low. Brian Boyd still out front leading this, as looks like they're going to just fall in line, and there that's position for 2nd and 3rd back here. Ethan Thompson, and there's Andrew Biznett in that number 69 McConey Setup Shop. 2 McConey Setup Shop drivers going at it door to door here, coming out of turn number 4. This is for the 6th position at the line. It's going to be, that was too close to call. According to iRacing, that went to Andrew Biznett. Ethan Thompson and Biznett are now just battling now for position. And Losheim seems to be the quickest way around here at the present moment, as we've seen a lot of drivers take that line. But we've also seen the top side work on the back stretch going into turn 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah, risk versus reward, and it's always a trade-off. If you take the inside, you're going to burn your tires off a little faster.
No.
If you run the outside, you're going to carry momentum.
Ryan Shelton gets into Ryan Walter, goes sliding through the grass, comes up, and now he's going to lose a lot of position. So that's really going to hurt not only Ryan Walter, but also
I think I got it right here.
Yeah, he just gets that outside wall and then just comes down. And it looks like Devin Zimmerman may get by, but those two got together. Ryan Shelton went sliding through the grass and now falls back to, let's see where he falls on the thing, 4th. So he's back in 4th position right now, but man, that was a little bit close. That could have been.
That was dicey.
2, absolutely. So these guys getting now sorted out through the field. Devin Zimmerman now caught back up to Brian Boyd, with Ryan Walter taking that outside wall. I must have some sort of aero damage to the car, because he did tap it quite a couple times and then also got into it with Ryan Shelton. So it might have just damaged his car just a little bit, but Brian Boyd now maintaining that top spot over Devin Zimmerman, as Devin's slowly closing in. I mean, he's within a couple of car lengths, but they're just riding right now. And through the field, well, there you go. Brian takes it really high. That's going to let Devin Zimmerman come up. Devin's going to, that was a close one. Let's get an inch car shot and take this battle with Devin Zimmerman if we can there. And you see Devin now going to put it on the bottom. It may look like he's just on the inside there. And he does get around him, so there you go. Devin Zimmerman now is in the front top spot. So we get a look from Boyd's car chasing him down. So Brian Boyd, who led early, but he's I'm saying his car is a little bit loose if you can't hold that bottom, because then you're when a car, not really chasing as much up at the top. You don't have to turn that wheel a little bit. But
Oh, you're
man,
absolutely
I'll tell
right.
you what.
And being aggressive early on, maybe he used up just a little bit more rubber than the other guys. Devin Zimmerman seems to have not only gotten around it, but able to pull away a little bit. And unfortunately, with the incident with Ryan Walter, his teammate, who was, supposed to be running some defense for him, is now falling back, showing him in fifth spot currently.
Yeah, it's like I said, those two got together, but there's a Chuck
Chuck
McDonald now
McDonald.
making it 3 wide around Ryan Walter. Not sure it was on the top side there, but it maybe looked like they might have just got around the outside. Was that Bradley Hunt there?
Yeah, Bradley Hunt got him around him. Ryan Walter continues to fall back. Christopher Rawlings about to overtake the 77 as well.
And the one car, the new guy right there, Todd Danbury, is 6 seconds behind John Dalton in that 13 car. Something must have happened early because he's now 2 laps down.
Yeah, I did notice him on pit road. There was way too much action on track to make mention of it, but he was on pit road a few laps ago, so maybe had to come in, get a quick repair. You know how it goes.
Right, as we see Todd Danbury now getting around Ryan Walter. So Ryan must have some damage. He's just trying to get through this first part of the run. That was a shame because he had a good run early, but his car is really, really tight.
Yeah, and good for Todd Danbury getting in here, getting some points early on as a newcomer. Hopefully he stays up there.
Absolutely. Christopher Rawlings now bringing that Castrol machine up through the field as he's now battling with Bradley Hunt. Those two are side by side. About the closest battle we got now, and those two have been going at it for the last couple of laps. So Christopher.
Thomas, this is Andy in the blimp. You got a read on me?
Yeah, Andy, what you seeing up there?
Oh, I'm just seeing the racing all over the track. It's kind of crazy.
You should have seen the first 3 laps. Ryan Walter now finally entering the pits here, we assume, for some fast repairs for that early incident.
Yeah, it's been some great racing tonight so far between these top leaders. Brian Boyd's definitely hanging in there. Ethan Thompson is now 1 second behind, well, almost 2 seconds behind, as Devin Zimmerman takes over that top spot there. And there's Chuck McDonald in that.
Did you guys get your picks in tonight?
We didn't have any picks tonight. No, we did not. So, like I said, we just kind of went through the field and just stacking them up. It's hard to call tonight. So, without anybody else up here, as we see Ryan Shelton get underneath Andrew Bisnet, as this is a battle for 5th position, and looking right behind them is Brad Youngman in that number 7 Air Force car, and he's just trying to figure out where these guys are going to go.
I really liked Rawlings. Rawlings had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to Christopher Rawlings, if you guys haven't done that yet. And really like him, man. Boy's been fast on all tracks. He knows how to save his stuff. See how he does.
Yeah, happy birthday, Christopher. And he was battling early for that 7th and 8th position, but Chuck McDonald's kind of moving up through the field. Now Brad Youngman, after Andrew Bisnet and Ryan Shelton were putting it side by side, looks like Brad Youngman's going to try and put it on the bottom, try and take that line away from Andrew Bisnet, as Andrew looked like he got a little bit loose and just lost a little bit of momentum coming out. Ryan Shelton is now pulling away. Brad Youngman's going to take over that 5th position away from Andrew Bisnet. 22 out of 100. I'm sure we'll be seeing pit stops probably within the next 10-15 laps with some of these leaders, as looks like tires is going to be an issue to Tommy and Andy.
Yeah, we just watched Ethan Thompson complete this pass here on Brian Boyd. I'll take it back up to Andy Cam up in the blimp. Ethan opened up a pretty good gap. I think Brian Boyd might have used a little too much rubber a little too early, and we're starting to see some fall off. I think most of the battles have sorted out. We're going to get the action when we can, where we can, but I think for the most part we're looking for a couple pit stops to shake things up.
Absolutely. It is pit stops are going to be critical in this race. Get in, get out, hit your marks in the pits, right? Don't speed, but hit your mark right in the pit stop. What a lot of people don't realize even in iRacing, a little bit left, a little bit right, it will add some tenths to your pit stop and will extend you. Tires are so big here at Kansas. People don't realize that. They look at this big track and they go, oh, these guys go go fast. There's banking. Absolutely not. It's like Texas. It's like Vegas. Tires matter. Those right fronts and right rears as you come out of the corners just want to push so bad. You got to take care of them to make it far in this race.
So we've been seeing a lot of leaders at earlier contender there, Ryan Walter, pushed a little bit too hard and went to the outside. So he definitely got his stop out of the way, but definitely pushed it, paid the price for it as he got tight, tapped that outside wall, almost got together with Ryan Shelton. That could have been disastrous, but those two saved it. He fell back through the field. Now he's sitting one lap down, but he did pit. So something should happen. The caution should come out. He will be the lucky dog and get that back.
And that's what happens, Jay, right? You start using up your tires, those right
Biznet's coming in.
Right sides. Biznet is coming into the pits. But you start using up those right sides, that car starts pushing up to the wall. And guess who learned that lesson the hard way last time?
3 guesses. Begins with an A and ends in an R.
You got it.
No, yeah, absolutely. This one of those tracks, it has a little braking, it does tear up those tires. 2 tires. I'm not sure who's going to go 2, who would go 4. I would go 4, but you never know. Somebody might like Andrew Biznett. Maybe Shelton may take 2, although I don't see Shelton taking less or 2 tonight because he just did slide through the grass, got a little sideways. So I'm sure he tore up more of his tires than he needed.
This early in the race, Jay, I'd say this early in the race, you got to take 4. Maybe late in the race, you gamble and you take 2. Right now, you take 4, and you see how that got it shakes out for you.
Yeah,
But you got to take care of those right sides, and if they start to wear out, backing up the corner, you can still find a lot of speed, but you can't run that corner as hard as you could.
Right. As we see, Ryan Shelton now catching up to the 3rd spot of Brian Boyd. So Shelton, after getting tapped around early, good lot of racing, sliding through the grasses. No, he gets it again, gets up to that side, takes it sideways. Lucky save. I mean, that was a good save right there. Another one did not put it down through the grass again. So I don't know if he's going to try and make that move again, because that's twice now I tried to get around a Mr. 22 driver. First around.
That right there is to, you could be faster, but you could pass Boyd right here. But that slide,
Boyd gets into that outside wall, so that's going to definitely give position to Ryan. As Ryan goes up underneath, he's going to definitely take it out, and he's going to pull within now just about 3 seconds back from Ethan Thompson chasing down Devin Zimmerman. So now we got 1, 2, 3, Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, Ryan Shelton with Ethan about 3 seconds behind. Ryan Shelton is now just under 6 seconds behind, but he is on a roll. Brian Boyd got into that outside wall, but he's been pushing a little bit tight. So we'll see how that plays out.
Keep your eyes on the number 7 of Brad Youngman. He's not making fast gains on that lead pack, but he has opened up over a 4 second gap to 6th place, and he's done this in a hurry. He is on the move.
Yeah, he got around Christopher Rawlings a little bit earlier as they were battling, and he's just been slowly marching his way towards the front. He's just under 8 seconds, or just about 8 seconds now behind the leader. But like I said, pit stops are key. We've seen a lot of these guys, a lot of the top guys have issues on pit road all season long. So last week, I think, was the only time that all of them actually pitted. None of them had an issue, but we are back at an oval where things happen. Speeding penalties happen, sliding through the pits. It's good on that first run, but after that, we shall see how this all shakes out.
The unsponsored number 6 Chevy of Todd Danbury just gets sorted out, and Bradley Hunt, one of the Mission 22 teammates.
Yeah, they're battling for position back there in 7th and 8th right now. So
every point.
Hopefully you guys can hear them cars out there winding down. We're going to be quiet a little bit so we can actually hear the cars tonight.
Yeah, we would like some feedback from the YouTube too. How is the sound? Are the voices too loud? Are the cars too quiet? You let us know. We're going to go ahead and give you just a few seconds of car only. What does Fox call it? Crank it up. Let's crank it up, people.
Crank it up.
Yo, got me real quick?
We got a read on you.
No, I moved you. You're not in the booth.
Okay.
Is your trading paints on?
Yeah.
It's not showing.
It's showing on the broadcast and in iRacing.
No, not where from the 01 is your leader?
What? No. Zimmerman's the leader right now.
Yeah, he should not have a Castrol. He has a honey press Maconi setup.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
I'm looking at a fucking Castrol car.
The broadcast is delayed by like
Still looking at
minutes.
Castrol car.
If you look in the Discord, it'll be accurate. It's like a minute and a half delay to YouTube.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure because there was a non-paint car too. I don't know if it may need to refresh because it's not showing what I'm seeing on you.
I'm watching it on YouTube, and Trading Paints is definitely on.
Well, I was watching the 01, which is supposed to be Devin.
No, the 01's Christopher Rawlings in the Castrol Toyota.
Okay. Show me Devin.
Here's Devin.
It'll take us a little bit. What do you see?
Oh, because you moved me. I'm not streaming in the Discord anymore.
But what are you seeing?
I'm looking at Devin Zimmerman.
What's his paint?
The Maconi Comb, 93. Golden blue.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna move you back, but it didn't look right because there's somebody with no paint.
You're probably thinking of the 01 because he's white.
No. I'll call out the number, just the number. I'm moving you back real fast.
Yeah.
That worked out here. I am lost all video feed, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to call this as I can because I kind of lost everything that I have up here in the booth. I'm just trying to see what I got as Devin Zimmerman.
It's all good, Jay. We're working on getting that connected back again. You know how this internet stuff is.
Yeah, who's the 6 car there, buddy?
Todd Danbury.
Just one moment as I get your feedback up for you folks up there in the booth. There you go. You should be able to see everything on screen as I see it.
As we're watching. Devin Zimmerman just put down some laps. So, yeah, all of a sudden we went from shaking it out to listening to the cars cranking it up to nothing. So we cranked it a little bit too hard and cranked everybody right out the booth. Blew everybody right on out of here and left me up here.
We cranked it off.
That's right. We cranked it right off. It was supposed to be crank it up, not crank it right off the roof and onto the, you know.
What's the old saying?
What is that 6 car? That 6 car's got an interesting paint scheme.
That's Todd Danbury. He's just going.
Just an orange, white kind of.
No sponsor out there. Just that, he's got the Chevrolet Camaro.
Probably looking to pick up a sponsor. There's a lot of guys, a lot of eyes watching here tonight.
That's right. Anybody wanting to pick up a Todd Danbury for a sponsor? That's the man right there running in the vets and TDR vets and first responders.
There you go. 41 of 100 now, so we're rolling up just about halfway. I think that Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, Ryan Shelton, and Brian Boyd are going to try and take this race halfway, especially if you're going 42. I don't really see them going out past that.
Yeah, and here's the difference in tires. Robert Cochran, fresh rubber. Devin Zimmerman, older tires. Devin Zimmerman, your current race leader. Robert Cochran, making it look easy.
Yeah, Robert
From
Cochran
2
pitted
laps
8
back.
laps ago. Yeah, he pitted 8 laps ago. So that's the difference right there. So that's 8-lap tires. So you can see the fall off that these guys are going to have on the tire. So based on that, I'm presuming that the guys are going to take 4 tires and not 2.
Yeah. Christopher
So
Owens,
I did
hot
notice a
pursuit.
couple guys getting a little bit of a pancake on these
Ooh,
walls
Chuck
Ooh.
McDonald
as
taps on
Chuck
side.
McDonald does it right there. Little pancake on these walls as the tires wear out. Have you guys named this stripe after food yet?
No, we have not. It's Kansas, so they got weed out there. So it's the Weedy Swamp, I guess. I don't know what you would call it out there.
What about Kansas City Reds? Come on.
The ruby red stripe. There's no place like
Ruby.
home.
There you go. So, but it's got to be food, apparently food related. So we got to find something out there that's food related with Kansas. So we'll figure it out eventually by the end. But
Yeah, Chuck McDonald was on a
What
bit
what
of a
what
march
fan
there.
clubs are out there tonight? Do we have fan clubs
Oh,
in the
we've
yes,
got fan clubs.
we've got Pan Cubs out there. Absolutely. Sharon is pulling for Ethan. So we have Ethan out there. We got Boyd's family out there. His mom and sister's out there. Devin Zimmerman's mom's in here. Tina Miller, she's in here. David May's in here. Go Boyd. Jimmy Mullins, Boyd. Ethan, so Tate's out there. His fan club's out there. So we got a bunch of Ethan fans, Boyd
I see your
fans.
brother is out there. Your brother hasn't picked anybody though.
Nah, he goes for everybody. So, Gentleman Jim really doesn't have a favorite. Can't pick favorites because he's got to race against the guys and don't want to upset anybody. So,
Yeah. Brad Hunt looking to the inside of Chuck McDonald.
right. So there you go. So there's Bradley Hunt underneath Chuck McDonald. And that, let's see, Chuck is still on 45 lap
Yep.
tires, and
Not for
Brad
position.
Hunt pitted 12 laps ago. So,
Yep.
like I said, they're
Things are about to shake out here a little bit.
yeah, it's going to get interesting, especially because they are going so long in between the pit stops. So it's not like a lap here, a lap there. Ethan Thompson, Ryan Shelton, are just under 7 seconds to Devin Zimmerman. If there happens to be anybody slides through the pit, that can go away in a hurry. We all know that. Once again, Andy, I believe you have a theory on this and it planned it out. First in, first out, right? So first in, first out, and then you take it out.
That
I
is
believe it was a
right.
Pocono.
First in, first out. If you plan it right, you have to plan it right. You can't come in after 3 laps and be first in, first out and make that work. If you plan it right, first in, first out is always the key. If you're close to the fuel run, close to the tire run, looks like these guys are kind of cutting this thing in thirds. Am I wrong?
There's 100 laps, 48 laps now, and here comes Ryan Shelton down to get his pit stop. So that still leaves now Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson. Like I said, I think Devin and Ethan will probably try and take it out to 50. I'm not sure on fuel. I'm sure they can go 50 laps. So we'll see how Ryan plays out. Maybe he's just trying to make up positions by going in a little bit early and get fresher tires.
Yeah, I'm showing John Dalton now out of the race.
So Dalton had, I believe, issues a little bit earlier. He went 2 laps down really early. Maybe got into a little bit of issue again tonight. Got loose, got in the outside wall, and decided he had too many. I did not see anything on track. I did not see any smoke. So we shall see from there. But it's good to see John come out, put down some laps, get out here and race with these guys. As we're watching Devin Zimmerman now. He is at lap 50, so he's on the 50-lap tires. I would assume he'd be coming in within this lap or at least the next lap, as we see Andrew Bisnett is right behind Devin Zimmerman, chasing him down, and he pitted. Andrew pitted about 24 laps to go, so he's one of the earlier pit on this strategy. So he may be on a 2-stop strategy.
Yeah,
but he did catch down
right.
after.
I'm just watching some of the timing here. I see Ethan Thompson dropping off. I'm going to bet we're going to see him on pit road here. No, maybe not. He might have had a...
Well, it's officially halfway, so we're halfway through the race right now. So we're coming up on that 51. From here on out, it's going to be fresh tires as we.
That's Brian Boyd in the pits.
So Brian Boyd comes down. There's Ethan Thompson.
I think we're going to see him coming this time by.
Yeah, I see him trying to get that car down and woed up. So that's going to.
That can be tricky.
That can be tricky. All right, so now we got 3 laps in between Ryan Shelton and Ethan Thompson. If this shakes out the way it should, either Ryan Shelton should be coming out ahead of these guys. So this would be a bad time for a caution because basically the entire field except for Christopher Rawlings and Devin Zimmerman would go a lap down.
Yeah,
So we just need for these guys to cycle through and get back on the lead laps that we have.
Yeah, I think knowing that Devin still has to pit, I think Christopher Rollins is probably sitting in the catbird seat right now. Devin Zimmerman comes in to pit, and Christopher Rollins 30-second laps. He's probably going to assume that lead.
But he also did not pit, so Christopher Rawlings did not pit, so he's got to pit.
That changes everything.
Absolutely. So as it shakes right now, Brian Boyd and Ethan Thompson are on the same pit cycle as well.
As we see Devin Zimmerman now. Bringing a cone along with him.
Oh, he's taking the cone with him. He's trying to shake it off.
You can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. And that,
let's see if we can get
if he can't shake that off, that could actually cause damage to that front splitter. So he's got to be really careful getting down in there. There he goes. He shakes it off there.
Oh, no.
The shot is
a little.
That's going to
a little distraction there, maybe, from that cone.
Well, these cars are hard to get underway.
And cycling through, this should put Christopher Rawlins, the last car to pit, and the first car on the track.
Yep, and he's going to get he should get a point for leading a lap.
Well, every point, right? Every point matters. Andrew Bisnett not far behind him, track time-wise.
No, and Bisnett.
Did I not tell you Christopher Rawlings was a thing tonight?
Yes, his birthday was yesterday, so we saw Christopher Rawlings.
He was officially assumed.
Now your leader is the birthday boy. One of Jay's punishments. I owe him 2. Sing happy birthday to Christopher Rawlings.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christopher. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Jay. Now you only have 1 punishment remaining. Tommy has 2.
Don't make me sing. Nobody wants to hear that.
So Andrew Bisnett, who has a 31 laps on his tires, is now up front, leading the field by 4 seconds, and it's falling in a hurry to Ryan Shelton. Christopher Rawlings does go into the pit, falls back third. Ethan Thompson, Bradley Hunt, Brad Youngman, Robert Cochran, Brian Boyd, Chuck Mcdonald, Todd Danbury. Devin Zimmerman is now 2 laps down after overshooting his pit. He may even got a speeding penalty. Ryan Walter and John Dalton are both out of the race, so Ryan must have had more issues, couldn't get it going down, so Chastain is out of the race. That just leaves 11 cars remaining on track with our leader, who was really taking the field by storm earlier, now 2 laps down. Todd Danbury 1 lap down. Christopher Rawlings is now 1 lap down, so if something should happen, that's going to put Christopher Rawlings in the catbird seat for the lucky dog position. With 43 laps to go, Andrew Bisnett, I'm sure, will be coming down soon. If he's on a 2-stop strategy, I don't see him really staying out past lap 55.
Yeah, just watching 60. Ryan Shelton from up in the blimp here, slowly making gains on Andrew Bisnett. Andrew Bisnett leading for now, but I think Ryan Shelton will be there within maybe 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, Ryan Shelton is definitely, like Andy was saying, first in, first out. And you can just see the closing rate there. Now all Ryan has to do is just keep it.
That's a hardcore closing rate right there. Whew.
Yep, that's a It's about 22 laps in between these guys' pit strategies. So 22 laps of tires, and that's the difference in 22 laps on fresh Goodyears around this place.
Tommy said 5 laps. It's like a lap and a half.
I'm not good at math.
So now Ryan Shelton has a huge lead over Ethan Thompson at 12 seconds.
Tommy,
who
you're
he
not
was
good at
behind.
bets either.
That's true.
Don't you owe a steak and lobster dinner to somebody?
You know, I was gonna bring a steak and lobster dinner up there for track days, but I didn't think it would travel well.
I bet you in North Carolina you could probably get a good steak and lobster dinner.
You probably could over at Blair's house. That's where we'll be having it. You heard it here, Blair. Yeah, really looking forward to TDR track days next month. That's gonna be a good time out there with Blair Patterson.
And while you say that, and I don't know if you mentioned it during the earlier times, and Jay, break in when you need to, but with Back Charities is helping to collect the funds for everybody to go to track days. We have 9 people signed up right now to go to North Carolina. If you guys can float them 5, 10, 15 bucks to help them out on that trip, be fantastic. That would be awesome. BACCcharities.com. That'll help for their food for the week, their stay for the week, and just they're out there spreading this message, right? What these guys are doing here on the track with TDR stands for. So BACCcharities.com. Float them $5, $10, $15. Whatever you can float them to enjoy themselves and help spread this message would be awesome. I can tell you it goes a long way to feeding these people.
As we see, Todd Danbury got around Ethan Thompson. That is not for position. Todd is just on fresher tires than Ethan at the present moment, so he's just trying to get some of his laps back.
Yeah, I saw Todd kind of pressing the issue a little bit there, a lap down, and I think as a new driver to the series, that might be him, just kind of feeling a little faster. But watch what you're doing, man. Some people swat at bees and hornets and wasps. Just
I don't think
the way he was floating around Ethan's car, I was like, man, I would knock that car off the track.
No, Ethan's just going to let him go. He's in a really good position right now, especially with Ryan Shelton's up front, but he's really not a points threat as far as the championship goes. And this is going to be Ethan's biggest gain of the season if it holds up this way. Because right now, Devin Zimmerman is 2 laps down. I think he pretty much made his bed tonight. And Ethan there's a 8 spot difference in between 3rd and 11th. And with Andrew Bisnett still, I'm assuming, having to pit, I do not see him going out the entire rest of the way, considering he is on 40 lap tires now, and these guys only made it 50 before pitting.
Yeah. And even though he didn't have an incident, Ethan Thompson has actually made quite the recovery tonight. Early on in the race, the first 10, 15, 20 laps, we saw him fall back as far as 8th place, just kind of struggling with the car. The more aggressive guys got by him. And here he is holding his own. He's figured it out, and he's in contention.
Right? And that's it. I mean, 9 seconds back. You never know what can happen. We have seen some incidents that have happened late in a race. Get strung out like this, and you never know. These guys get around each other, lap cars get into each other. Late in the race, somebody trying to take it a little bit high. Caution comes out, tightens up the field. Might as well rip everything up and go out. So as we see, Bisnett is now in pit road, getting his pit stop, so he's going to fall back. More than likely, he'll be battling 1 lap down with the 8th and 9th positions of Robert Cochran and Christopher Rawlings when he comes back out. But he will have fresher tires. So if he can get in, get out, maybe only take 2 instead of 4, shorten that pit stop a little bit, he may actually gain a little bit on positions and may be able to drive to get around for that, get his lap back. As we see Ryan Shelton now getting underneath Christopher Rawlings. And this is 8th, but Christopher Rawlings, I think, actually got around Ryan to get his lap back the hard way. So now that's going to put Robert Cochran in the Lucky Dogs position in 9th position. So only 9 cars are a lap down, but Bradley Hunt and Andrew Bissonnette are on pit road right now. Ethan Thompson is slowly driving back up. He was about 10.5 a few laps ago, but I think driving with Ryan driving around Christopher Rawlings brought that down to within just under 9 seconds. And then it's only a couple seconds back to Brad Youngman, who is now sitting in 3rd. Brian Boyd in 4th. Had a little bit of trouble, got a little bit tight, but he's been hanging in there and has a solid top 5 going tonight. Like I said, you never know what's going to happen. A whole bunch of different strategies played out tonight, but it's not over until that checkered flag falls, as we have seen time and time again. And right behind Brian Boyd is Chuck Mcdonald, who has just been slowly working his way up to the top 5. He started a little bit deeper in the field tonight, but ended up running now 5th. He's about 24.5 seconds behind the leader, but you never know with Chuck what he's got up his sleeve, and he may pick up a couple more positions at the end, as he's only about 2.5 seconds behind Brian Boyd right now. As we see Devin Zimmerman up front is now going to get around Ryan Shelton to get one of his laps back. So that's going to be a threat as well if Devin can continue that march towards the front, get around. And Robert Cochran now pits. That puts Todd Danbury. So now Devin has got to put his sights on Todd Danbury and go for that lucky dog spot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an easy one. And one to watch here, Brad Youngman still kind of on the march with Ethan Thompson. They've had about a 2 to 3 second gap between them. But Brad Youngman, lap over lap, seems to have the advantage, just slightly.
Yeah, just a little bit. Robert Cochran comes in the pit, as mentioned before. So that's going to move Andrew Bissonnette back up to 8th behind Todd Danbury. Devin Zimmerman right now. Those two have got a gap as we watch Andrew get around here in that pink and green car, the Tyler Daniels machine, the Coney setup shop. So you can always spot where Andrew is at no matter what shot you're in. So if you're ever looking for Andrew, just look for that car. He'll be more than happy to tell you. I know, Tommy, that's one of your favorites. There he is. So yeah, you can see him a mile away.
That's the truth.
So, but absolutely, Tyler Daniels Racing, the YouTube chat out there is blowing up here. As Kelly Taylor says, I can't hear the cars. Be patient, Brian. Just ride. Brian May. Yes, we see paints on YouTube. The booth is my favorite. So Jim picks the booth. So there you go. And then everybody else out there enjoying the race tonight as things are starting to wind down. But Ethan Thompson is now pulled up to within 7 seconds.
We do have a happy birthday. We have a happy birthday, Christopher from David May. So thank you, David, for reaching out to Christopher. Wishing him a happy birthday. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So everybody out there in YouTube land, thanks for coming out, supporting these vets and first responders here at Kansas tonight, as we're just about almost coming up on 3/4 of the way through the season. So this season's winding down. Yeah. And right now, Ethan Thompson.
Who's your shocker of the night? My shocker of the night is Mr. Youngman up there in 3rd place.
Yeah, that's my shocker of the night as well. Brad Youngman, who was...
Let's go, Brad. Let's go, buddy.
Yeah, he's up there just hanging out. I mean, they were within 1.5 seconds of each other a few laps ago, but now Ethan Thompson is really pouring on the heat. So with 26 laps to go, he's trying to chase down Ryan Shelton and make this a race for the lead. He does have the fresher tires of Ryan.
Get himself in there into a top 3, top 5 position. Man, that's a run for him. And it's awesome to see that all of these drivers every week improve. It's just fantastic. And Mr. Youngman's a huge showing of that.
Right. And we also got Chuck Mcdonald now slowly climbing up and trying to put the pressure on Brian Boyd for 4th. And like I said, Chuck's been a sleeper tonight, but he's still hanging out in that top 5. And Christopher Rawlings, who the birthday boy who we saw earlier get those laps, he is now 26, but he is on fresher tires. He may be able to chase down Brian Boyd and Chuck Mcdonald with 25 laps to go and try and battle it out for the top 5. So that may be something to watch going into the last few laps here.
Yeah, I think Chuck just got a little bit of wall right there. He was making really good progress on Brian Boyd, and that cost him right at about 1 second on the gap.
Yeah, it's just that lull. Like I said, that car just seems to get tight, and it just comes out no matter where what track we go to, there seems to be a certain lap.
As we go back, Christopher Rawlings, the birthday boy himself, coming up on Chuck Mcdonald.
Yeah, and I think Chuck kind of hurt a little bit because he was 3 seconds behind Brian Boyd a few laps ago, and with that just getting a little bit tight and tapping that outside wall.
Yeah, May got a little bit of
That'll,
aero damage.
yep, that caused Christopher Rawlings now to close the gap. So fighting for fifth spot is Christopher Rawlings. Chuck Mcdonald as he got the closest battle on the field right now. I say he's right there, just slowly making them gains. So within a 6-7 car lengths, and then he'll come down that backstretch. So if Chuck can just keep that distance out, it looks like Rawlings is definitely making the gains on him every single lap. It's just getting a little bit closer. That car is getting a little bit bigger in that mirror every single lap.
Little by little, little by little.
And then right behind them is Devin Zimmerman, who is also quick. So that could also be another one that could kind of hurt Christopher Rawlings, as now Rawlings is within an eye shot of Chuck Mcdonald, just over a second, about 6 car lanes, 5-6 car lanes. Slowly closes it up, but Chuck got the car back up underneath of him again and just maintaining that gap. So he's definitely fighting for that top 5. So it's good to see Chuck back out here getting the top 5, but they're closing in. It's going to be a good little race here. Devin Zimmerman slowly creeping into the picture. Now Zimmerman is 1 lap down, but he's really trying to race to try and get that lap back, or at least become the first one on the with 1 lap down.
Hey, you see him looming large back there in this battle. Ethan Thompson still 4 seconds back from the leader. Brad Youngman 5 seconds back from Ethan Thompson. That's your top 3. The battle here, 4th, 5th, 6th. Gonna be a good time here.
Yeah, as Bradley Hunt there had a little bit of a run on Devin going into turn number 3, but just took it a little bit wide and just tapped that outside wall, and that's gonna move him back. But yeah, I mean, there you go. You got chasing down now Chuck Mcdonald. Like I said, Chuck, after he got a little bit tight, slapped that outside wall, then gathered it back up and learned how to, I guess, reposition it, maybe get those tires cooled off enough just to hold off Christopher Rawlings. But that's a battle for 5th and 6th right now, and Devin Zimmerman is right there trying to just loom in. Back up front, Ryan Shelton's got a 5-second lead, and he's being pressured right now by Andrew Bisnet, who's going to get his lap back the hard way. So now that puts Andrew Bisnet back on the lead lap, which then puts Todd Danbury and Devin Zimmerman 1 lap down. So now Devin's just got to look and chase down Devin Zimmerman, as these guys are now fighting it out, as Andrew just continuing to get that lap back. He should have it, no problem, but Devin Zimmerman now getting around
Here we go.
Chuck Mcdonald.
2 wide, 2 deep. Now we're racing.
Yeah, Chuck Mcdonald and Bradley Hunt are underneath. Oh, man, Devin just takes that up, puts it in front of Chuck. That's going to help Christopher Rawlings catch Chuck, as Chuck had to get off a little bit. Bradley Hunt now is going to make that little slide move up the track, try and stay right within Devin Zimmerman. That's going to force Chuck Mcdonald to make a blocking move on Christopher Rawlings, but try and get that line in that draft from those top 2 cars in front of him. Chuck's going to take it wide. So does Christopher. Christopher's basically just battling it out with Chuck Mcdonald, kind of going wherever he goes to try and get around that and make a mistake. I didn't see him take advantage of that Devin Zimmerman move to try and hold him up, as he is now within, man, those two are definitely battling now for 7th or 5th and 6th. Andrew Bisnet is about 6 seconds behind this, as he just got around Ryan Shelton. So now where's Todd Danbury during all this? So Todd would be the next sight for Devin Zimmerman, as he is rolling into, I can't tell if that's turn 2. Find out here in this. So no, he's coming down the front stretch. So he's at start. Okay, so we got. So he's gone into turn number 1, and then Devin Zimmerman's trying to chase him down to get his become the first car 1 lap down.
Yeah, back to Chuck Mcdonald and Christopher Rawlings here.
Yeah, that's a good battle that they've had going on for quite some time now. And it looks like Chuck's car is slowly starting to give way. Those tires getting in as he's going to make that run down the backstretch, close right within a car length and a half. Back it up just a little bit and try and get that run across the start finish line down the front stretch. Going to try and take it down low underneath of Chuck Mcdonald, but Chuck's on the high side. Here comes Rawlings on the low side, trying to get that run. Can't quite complete it just yet, but he's looking, that's for sure.
He's looking hard.
13 laps to go as these two are definitely working through it. So I think with everything being settled out, maybe we should go through the field before we start rolling down for the final laps here. So up front, we got Ryan Shelton in that. Just he's not really putting a hurting on the field, but he is leading tonight, and you can see him back out there. So
yeah, Ethan Thompson not far, only 3 seconds behind with a handful of laps to go here.
Ethan Thompson has been slowly reeling him in lap after lap, so that may come down to 12 laps to go for sure. Ethan Thompson may be right there to battle it out. There might be a battle at the line.
Yeah,
In third spot, Brad Youngman now 7 seconds behind those two, but looking really good. I mean, that's one that we really don't know much about, but it's good to see him out here. Brad Youngman in that U.S. Air Force. That Thunderbird looking car looks really nice. I love that car design. I love the Thunderbirds. And there's the 78 of Brian Boyd, who led early, have fought to come back to 4th position. So everything being said, Brian Boyd is now 18, almost 19 seconds down. Chuck Mcdonald, who we've been watching the past few laps, in the 5th position, being chased down by Christopher Rawlings in that 01 Castrol car. Christopher was another one who was birthday boy, and he led a lap, so he'll get his extra bonus point tonight.
Yeah,
and
we're working hard on Chuck Mcdonald there. That top 5, it's within his grasp. It's within his grasp. But I think Chuck might be able to hold him off. This really is the battle to watch here going into 10 to go.
Unless we can get Ethan to catch up to Ryan.
Well,
and then behind them.
It's not impossible.
Ooh, he's taking a little high there. Almost touched that outside wall. But in 7th position, we got Andrew Bisnett with 10 to go now. There's that Andrew Bisnett car rode and drove around to get his car back on the lead lap. Didn't take it. Didn't get the lucky dog, but drove it back around. So he's looking really good tonight. And then behind him there's Todd Danbury, who's the first car 1 lap down. So if these two were to get together, Todd Danbury right now would be the lucky dog recipient and get back on that lead lap. If something should happen late in the race here, Devin Zimmerman in 9th position after pit stop errors there. Goes 2 laps down, drove back to get 1, and is now chasing down Todd Danbury for that 8th position. In the 10th spot, who we saw earlier chasing him down, was also Bradley Hunt, as we see Chuck Mcdonald and Christopher Rawlings get that back from Bradley Hunt. But Bradley Hunt is now running 1 lap down in the 10th position. And the last car on the track tonight is Robert Cochran in that number 90 Navy car, who we're used to seeing out here week after week. And he was battling up there early too, and then just had a couple of issues. But it was really good to see Robert Cochran up there battling early for the lead. As we're watching the battle in between Ryan Shelton and Ethan Thompson is now down within 2 seconds, but this is a position to watch right here. Is Chuck Mcdonald, Christopher Rawlings, just trying to definitely get it going here for 5th position. So
yeah, it looks like Bradley Hunt's kind of even though he's on fresher rubber, has sat back to let these two boys have at it with 7 to go. This is the battle for position on the track. Ethan Thompson, barring an error on Ryan Shelton's part, I think our 1, 2, and 3 have been locked in. Of course, anything could happen, but right now this is the battle for the most points.
Yes, it is right now. Chuck Mcdonald has just been tight, and then we saw Rawlings get a little bit tight. So let's see if we can go back and see what they're looking like. Christopher Rawlings is on 6-lap newer tires. So Chuck Mcdonald pitted 45 laps ago. Christopher Rawlings pitted 39 laps to go, and Chuck goes up, and that's going to go underneath. Christopher Rawlings is going to come back underneath Chuck McDonald under that unfortunate incident there, getting the outside wall, losing momentum, and then Christopher Rawlings is now going to take over 5th position, but it ain't over yet because Chuck has shown that he can run with them, and they did get side by side, and he was able to keep up and run away with it. So hopefully there wasn't too much damage done there to Chuck McDonald to see if he can run them down.
Yeah, he looks
Right
pretty
now,
okay.
Ethan Thompson has caught within a second and a half of Ryan Shelton with 5 laps to go. So Ryan Shelton ain't really running away with it unless he's been just saving his stuff waiting to see if Ethan's going to get up to him.
And there's what a second
hopefully
and a
Ethan.
half looks like.
That's right. That's just about a quarter of the straightaway, right about 30 car lanes. And that's huge. But 4 laps to go. And Ethan Thompson has been reeling him in. But I think Ryan Shelton is also, his car is starting to give up as well because he pitted earlier than Ethan Thompson by 4 laps. Even though he was running out front, I don't know if you can really save anything because if you get out of rhythm here, it's kind of hard to get back, especially when the car starts to roll off, the tires start to wear off. So I don't think you're really, you know what I mean, going to try and take it easy. You may back off a little bit earlier in the turns maybe, but you're really not going to alter it that much.
Yeah, 1 second is a lot of ground to ask for in 3 laps. Ryan Shelton could easily make a mistake, or maybe Ethan Thompson has been saving a little bit as we see him narrowing in on 1.3 to 1.2 seconds back.
Yeah, maybe we can get a blimp cam shot and see if we can catch the actual. There's Ryan Shelton, and right there, so that's a second and a third. Ethan, man, he's just taking it, but that's coming across the line. 2 to go.
Using all the track.
He's using everything that he got. He is definitely trying to chase him down. I mean, you got to put it all on the line right now. So we got 2 to go. Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson here.
Gotta have a big run coming down the backstretch. But I think Ryan Shelton's run might have just been a little stronger. Ethan Thompson seems to be better on the entry to 3, but I think Ryan Shelton has enough to run away from it here, barring any issues.
Yeah, the second 40, about a second and a half at the line. So second and a half, last lap. This is it. 1 to go. Ryan Shelton's going to bring
I'm just proud of Brad Youngman. Come on now.
He did a great job tonight.
Absolutely. Brad's sitting in third, 7, almost 8 seconds behind the leaders, but everything considered, going yet again 100 laps of green flag racing. Ryan Shelton's going to bring home another victory, back-to-back victories here in the TDR Veteran First Responders League. So there's your winner tonight, Ryan Shelton. Second across the line is Ethan Thompson. And then bringing it home third, congratulations, Brad Youngman. What a run that he had tonight. As he crosses the start-finish line, there's Brad Youngman. Good job. Brian Boyd brings it home in 4th. Christopher Rawlings, who got around Chuck McDonald, is fighting it back for 5th position. Chuck McDonald 6th. Andrew Bisnet drove his way back to the lead lap 7th. Devin Zimmerman brings it 1 lap down in 8th. After his run, he did get around Todd Danbury 9th. Bradley Hunt 10th. Robert Cochran 11th. Ryan Walter and John Dalton had some issues out there tonight and went out early, but finished 12th and 13th. And that is your field for tonight here in beautiful state of Kansas. As we've got Ethan Thompson and Ryan Shelton.
Ethan Thompson wanted to practice some of those burnouts.
And that's a huge points gain tonight for Ethan. So I don't blame him for really burning it down a little bit because that's a huge points gain over Devin Zimmerman. So what a race tonight.
Giving it the old Polish burnout there.
Yeah, perfect circle there. He did a crop circle right there in the middle. So absolutely. But no, there's Ryan Shelton. Had a great night tonight. Good racing. Green flag racing. A lot of pit strategies played out. And Ryan's had just enough to bring it home by just over a second and a half over Ethan Thompson. It was hard charging there. I think another 25 laps, it would have been a totally different race.
Yeah, you got you got the buttons up there to try to get some of these drivers dialed in?
I have buttons. The question is, do I have to push people's buttons or do I just move them?
It's so weird doing this
Uh,
role reversal thing with the cameras and the audio and all that.
right. So
I
let's see if I can.
Mr. Yonkman, with his best finish, he's available to talk to us.
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah, we got Brad coming in. We got to obviously talk to our winner here, um, and bring him down so we can catch up to him. All right, Ryan, Shelton, Jay up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I got you loud and clear.
Man, that strategy tonight proved to be the winning strategy, but not by much. Only a second and a half back to Ethan Thompson. Why don't you tell us how your night went? Uh, that was a good drive tonight.
Well, yeah, thank you. Just we had some damage to start out the race. We had gotten into a couple of the drivers throughout the race, trying to um, come back through the field, and uh, so I went down. I was really far behind Devin, and I was like, just throw two tires on it, put enough gas in it, and let's run it and see what happens. And it it kind of worked. Um, the only thing it worked was that Devin took a speeding penalty and let me be out front. And the two tire call was not the winning call. It should have been four, but car was far, far too loose. Ethan just ran out of laps there at the end. I think that's all it was. So Devin was definitely the fastest by a lot, and I think Ethan was probably quicker than me. So I definitely wasn't the fastest car, but we won the race.
Hey,
That's
it's
it.
all about that last lap. It doesn't matter where you are the entire race. There's only one lap that matters, and you were able to lead that one and then some. I'm curious. In the beginning of the race, we saw a lot of aggressive driving, a lot of names up front there. What were your thoughts as all these guys came flying up to the front, just fighting everything they had on like lap two?
I thought I'd forgotten how to drive.
That
Uh,
bad, huh?
I I I was I knew it was probably going to be a long run race. I
Hmm.
knew we were probably going to be in it for the while, and I knew that these cars get super tight, especially here. So I was just wanting to save my tires. I was wanting to get out in clean air and then save my tires after that. And then I went down to turn one time, and I had one of the drivers. I don't remember who it was, and I almost clipped them. And then we went through wide, and I went down an X quarter. Had the exact same thing happen to me. Get dive bombed from 83 feet back. So
Yeah,
it
they were
was
really aggressive
it
early
was fun.
on, and I noticed
Yeah,
you and Ethan both, the guys that finished one and two, you both kind of took a back seat to all that action just because you recognize the long run race. But great job out there. You brought home another W. This is a great points night for you. Do we have updated points? Can someone in the YouTube get us some points? Someone usually does that for us, right?
absolutely. And Ryan, I know you got some sponsors on that car you'd like to thank for.
Oh yeah, just racing out here with the Coney Setup Shop for this season. Um, and I think that's about it for this race. Uh, So I
Hey,
don't know
let
about the
me
point
ask you before
situation
we
for
let you
me.
go real fast there,
Yep,
Ryan, since
yep.
that's all you had. Just real fast. How does it feel to be a part of that at McConey Setup Shop family?
It's pretty good. You get access to some of the best oval setups, especially um, in the sim. Um, really good setups that are really useful in officials. The small amount of officials that I run, but definitely help out. Get some instant speed without having to do a lap. So it's been really enjoyable this season.
Instant
Well, that's
speed.
awesome.
Where do I get some of that instant speed?
You gotta get the McConey Setup Shop setup.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you do, as usual, coming out here. Glad to see you back out there. Once again, it wasn't a whooping like you put on the field last week. They were actually chasing you down, made you a little nervous. It's kind of good to see your hands sweat every now and then out there, but no, great race. Congratulations on the win, points lead, and get you back down there with the guys to celebrate and have a good weekend. We will see you next week.
All right, man. See you next time.
Absolutely. And speaking of sweaty hands, if that's a problem for you, go get some of those Abruzzi racing gloves from McConeySetupShop.com.
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right. Now, let's
We
bring up.
got to get my boy down
Yeah,
here.
we got to get Brad up before he disappears.
All right, let's see if I can dial him up, find him on pit road. Let's see. Brad, this is Jay up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, gotcha. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Probably not
Oh,
as good as you, sir.
Oh, that was a good run.
Great run. What do you mean good run? That was a great run. Bringing home third behind Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson. I mean, that was one
Yeah,
heck of a run.
I screwed up my qualifying run is where it really messed me up. Starting that far back in the field.
Well, hey, you did a great job, man. You've shown a lot of speed, and a lot of the races haven't had the outcomes you want. I believe this might be the first podium for you in this series. What's it like, being up against names like Ethan Thompson and Ryan Shelton?
It's man, this was being on the podium for this race finally. I mean, I've had my issues in the past and stuff like that, and having a good, consistent run. My Air Force Thunderbirds Camaro came home without a scratch on it. Didn't hit the wall once.
Yeah, great.
That's an awesome.
Qualifying.
Great looking paint scheme out there too, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Hope it has a nice shine to it.
Oh, it did. It looked really good out there flying. I mean, it seems like the Air Force guys really know how to pilot these machines around, especially the next gen. Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thompson, and Devin Zimmerman, and yourself, Brad. You were all in the Air Force, and these guys have just been up front consistently. Andy, I know you got something for them.
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Yeah,
Brad,
he does.
I was the one up in the booth cheering you on, getting blasted when you were up there in P3 and finishing. Man, am I excited that you finished up there. I am so excited for this. Not only did you run up there with the guys, Ryan Shelton, Ethan Thomas finished 1-2, but you beat Devin Zimmerman. He's an Air Force guy.
He beat him by a lot.
An issue.
To be fair, there were a handful of other guys that beat him tonight too.
I mean, but that's gotta hit the heart right there. Like, you have to be excited about
Those three seems like they're always on the podium.
Yeah, there's some really fast guys for sure.
You know what? But you didn't make the mistake that Devin did, right? So that is yours to take home and be proud of.
Absolutely. It was a fun, clean race. Just trying to keep the car nice and smooth and not burn those tires up.
So
we're not bringing in, Devin to talk about his honeycomb paint schemes and the McConey setups. We're bringing you in for finishing in the podium. Who do you want to shout out today, buddy?
Oh, I got to shout out, all my Air Force buddies out there. Oh, I'm retired Air Force now, so all of us, one big happy family.
Absolutely. I've got one last thing for you before we let you get back on pit road and celebrate with the drivers. So you've run well, most every race, haven't always had the finish. You finally bring home a podium. What do you take away from the other drivers? How much do you lean on them for assistance, for help, the practice sessions? Are you involved with any of that?
No, I mean, I've been running for a little while now, and I like to watch their lines, and that's these couple of these guys that are faster, Zimmerman, the guys that are normally up on the podium. I try to watch their lines and get some technique. Now, being only 7 seconds behind after 100 laps, I'm happy with that.
Hey, man.
That is a great run.
Brad, you have no idea. The only guy in the booth that was there saying, I got this guy. Here's my man. He's going for it. He's going to take a top 3. Is talking to you right now. And
I appreciate it.
Not only do I appreciate your effort on the track, but this is the biggest thing right here. I appreciate your effort on the track, but I appreciate your service to this country and what you do for us to allow us to bring you this broadcast. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate all the support that we get from everybody. I mean, that's it for us. I mean, we love it.
Yeah, well, you did a great job,
Thank
Brad.
you. A great run tonight. We loved seeing it. I know one guy loved seeing it, right? And it was awesome. It was awesome, dude. Just I can't wait to see more out of you. I'm so excited and so happy for you tonight. It's
I'm looking
awesome.
forward to be able to run a full season next time.
Yeah, momentum,
You know,
baby,
Yeah,
momentum.
Oh, there
brother.
it is. I mean, that's the thing. You got to come out here. You got to run. You got to come out here week after week. Points matter, and just show up. And you're right in the spot where you
But
need to be, coming in
but
three
right
quarters of the
now,
way
for
and
right
carrying that
now,
momentum.
a part-time schedule, grabbing a podium,
Yep.
banging, buddy, banging, and I am behind you 100%.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
5 races to go, and then we're gonna reset these points and do it again for season 7.
I can't wait.
Good
All
deal,
right, but
man.
I'm going to get you back down there, and
Okay.
congratulations on your podium position. Thanks for coming
Thanks.
out. Thank you for everything that you do, all your service that you do, and hope to see more of you. And good luck with the remainder of the season. Hopefully, we get to talk to you some more up here in the booth. It was great to see you tonight, and that
Thanks,
car
I
is
hope-
looking awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it is. Thank you. Well, we'll get him sorted back down to pit road so he can party with the drivers. Now, I have the sneaking suspicion that Andy's fandom has something to do with that number 7.
Yeah, I think that has a little bit to do with it
Maybe
as
just a
well.
little.
So yeah, one of those things that we can't really get a hold of up here. But
Well, let's round out the
um,
podium and try to get Ethan up here.
so where is Mr. Ethan? Hold on, let me see if I can find him. No, Ethan is down.
Left the
See
building?
Ethan, but I can't get him down here. I can't get him down here.
You can't get Ethan down here. Let me see if I can move a couple things around over here.
Sorry, I'm trying, but yeah, those guys are in their own little
You're all
chat
good.
right now.
I think I
So,
got
okay.
Ethan dialed up. Hey, Ethan, Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us, buddy?
I guess I do.
Hey, man, it wasn't a W, but it was, second best. We had to interview Brad Youngman ahead of you. Been out here running, pulling some consistent races together. A part timer, finally brought home a podium, so it was big, exciting stuff having him in there. Came in second, just didn't quite have enough laps to make it happen. You were chasing him down. What was the race like for you?
First run was terrible in my opinion for me. I tried to replicate what I did here in Gas and Go from a little over a week ago where I had won that race.
Mhm.
But something felt different this time. Like I did really well with saving my tires last Sunday and was in a similar situation where I had to run the leader down from like I don't know 4 or 5 seconds. Granted, the interval was bigger this time, but um, and I was able to do it really well. For some reason, something was different. I can't quite pinpoint it at
Well,
the moment,
to,
but
to, to be fair, in my analysis, I think what was different is how aggressive these guys were in that first series. That first series of laps, like lap 1 through maybe 10 to 15, the amount of aggressive driving out there we saw, they were getting after it. But then, long run race, the guys who took care of their stuff showed up later on.
yeah, I wanted nothing to do with that.
We
I was
noticed.
kind of I let them go. I know Brian was dead set on getting a bonus point. He's like I'm leading the lap, so just letting you know I'm coming through.
Yeah,
Right.
him and teammate Ryan Walter both kind of. I wouldn't say they helped each other out, but they definitely shot towards the front and got themselves in position to grab that point and did what they said they were gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh, scary stuff up there though when they're that aggressive that early on. How did you feel about a newcomer Todd Danbury? I noticed that he was a lap behind you on fresher rubber, kind of pressing the issue a little bit. Did he bother you at all? Was he getting in your way, or were you able to sort him out pretty quickly?
No, he wasn't getting in my way. I mean, he ran clean. I felt like we both ran clean there. He didn't slow me down at all. So, um,
That's good to hear. I saw some glances of it, and I was like, "Watch out, young man! That's a champion behind you."
No, but Ethan, it's good to see you out here and that Thompson's Drone Works. I know you got Civil Air on or Civil Patrol, the number 9. It's looking a really good car this year for you. So I'm sure you want to shout out a few sponsors. And no, it's not the finish you wanted, but still bringing it home second.
yeah. So, I mean, you've already you've named a couple there. So, and then of course Coney always being um, pretty much, in my opinion, the primary for me. week in and week out. I may have a new sponsor to share with everybody here soon. I'm not positive on it. I'm working out some details, but um, that might be something that I might unveil here soon. Just got to see if the pieces fall where they need to fall, and if it's something that I want to be involved in. But it's definitely interesting stuff, at least.
Well, good. I hopefully we'll see that in the next few weeks if it does come to fruition. Good luck on that sponsorship for you. Right now, you did grab the points, so it's a great points lead for you. Now you got 4 points up over Devin Zimmerman and 34 over Biznit, who moves up to third. So you're looking pretty good heading to be a repeat champion, the first repeat champion for the Vets and TDR, Vets First Responders TDR champion for this league. So at least you can come out of here, got that momentum going for you into next week.
Yeah, you know, I got great respect for Devin, of course, and obviously, we get along great. So, I hate to see that, that he had that mistake, but obviously, I'm not gonna, you know, say, oh well, I'd rather not have the points type of thing. So, you got to take what you can get. And I had a moment myself tonight, and I was telling Ryan the difference between who won tonight was I screwed up myself coming to pit road. I missed it my
Yep.
first attempt.
Yeah.
And that could have been the difference in
and
between first and second. So
yeah, very much so, because there was only about a 1 second gap between us. So I think if I hadn't screwed that up, then
Yeah,
it may have worked out. But
and that tends to be a differentiating factor between you guys that run up front all the time. We all know you're fast. We all know you're good drivers, and it's just eliminating those mistakes. As soon as you make a mistake or someone else makes a mistake, it completely changes the how it turns out.
yeah, of course.
yeah, but well, once again, good talking to you. We got a lot of sport out there tonight. Sharon is going for you tonight. So once again, you've got my sister there. She's pulling for you week after week. And like I said, you got Tay out there. You got a whole bunch of your other guys coming out and supporting you week after week. So you had a fan club out there cheering you on, and good job bringing it home second.
Yeah, definitely appreciate everyone that's been chiming in, and hopefully we can keep the channel growing and get more and more people out here, and hopefully that leads to more and more people actually, getting involved in racing out on the track with us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to move you back down and enjoy the rest of your week. Good talking to you, bud. And we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully, maybe from Victory Lane.
All right, guys, have a good week.
Ethan Thompson's been on a roll. I mean, and it's just consistency that pays. And like I said, of all nights, I did not think that it would have been that big of a gap in between Ethan and Devin. But like you said, pit road mistakes seem to be biting these guys week after week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And that's all.
that's really what it comes down to. When the cream of the crop are out there, whoever makes the fewest mistakes is most likely to have the best finishing position.
But another guy is, another one of the persons that I like to shout out tonight, actually, too, Brian Boyd and Christopher Rawlings. Great job. Fourth, fifth.
Absolutely.
I mean, Brian Boyd is just consistently hanging in there, and he is now moves to fourth in points with 301. So he's not that far behind Biznett. He's only 19. A couple of mistakes here and there from Biznett. We got a couple of tracks that are coming up that could be wild cards for these guys.
Oh yeah,
Points could flip.
Martinsville,
So.
Indy, Richmond, Talladega on September 5th.
And that's a long one. So September 5th, you might want to take a nap earlier in the day for that, because that is going to be a long race, 75% of the actual race. So we should be going just about 3 hours on that one there that night. So make sure that you get the bathroom breaks in. We may have to see if we can get a couple of commercials for us up here in the booth.
Everybody take that Tuesday off.
Or either that, or I'm going to have to go out and see if we can get a booth sponsorship by Depends. But other than that, no, everybody, thank you out there in YouTube land for showing up week after week. Appreciate it. Love you guys. It was some good racing tonight with Ethan, watching Ethan try and battle it out in a great race in between. Andrew Biznett tonight getting his lap back, and Chuck McDonald, Christopher Rawlings, those two battled it out. And I mean, just some good racing. Not necessarily up front all the time, but there was good racing everywhere throughout the course of the race.
Yeah, as you always say, Jay, same back time, same back channel next week. We head to Martinsville for some paperclip action, some good old-fashioned short track racing. I can't wait. As we've seen these fields get a little bigger through the season, we haven't seen the fall off like we saw through season 5 as the points sort themselves out. More drivers coming out, more action on the track. Martinsville's going to be crazy.
Yeah, Martinsville is one of those tracks. It's a paperclip. Your 2 drag strips surrounded by U-turn. So that's about how that goes. Is these guys are going to try and battle it out in the next gen cars next week at Martinsville. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification button so we know when we go live. And there's been talks about me bringing a couple other leagues and displaying them out, but we shall see what happens in the future. But you never know. If we do go live or if you need a notification, then you'll know when it actually happens. Other than that, Tommy, any last words?
Well, tell your friends about what we got going on here. If you know anybody that is a veteran or active duty and they're into racing, get in the iRacing thing. Tell them how to get on here. Come have some fun with us. Huge shout out to our sponsors, of course, McConeySetupShop.com. Their setups, your victories. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps. Huge shout out to Jeremy for providing all 6 season trophies so far and hopefully many more in the future. Back charities, backcharities.com. Give back with back. Help us keep the fun and funded in everything we do here. Jay, as the premier voice of the Back Sports Network here, I will let you give the final send off.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming out. Like you said, supporting these guys. Thanks to all the drivers from Ryan Shelton on his win, Ethan Thompson, Brad Youngman, Brian Boyd, Christopher Rawlings, Chuck McDonald, Andrew Bisnet, Devin Zimmerman, Todd Danbury, Brad Hunt, Robert Cochran, Ryan Walter, and John Dalton. From Tommy and myself and Andy, who kind of went down there and celebrating with the guys down on pit road. From all of us here at Back Charities, Back Sports, we appreciate all your support, and we will see you next week in Martinsville. Have a good week, everybody.
Absolutely. And we are out.